Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Irene and I'm a registered dietitian, and today we are ranking protein bars. So I went to my local grocery store and picked up 15 different protein bars, and today we're going to be ranking them based on packaging, nutrition value, and taste. So there's a lot of protein bars to get through, and I tried to make it fair by choosing the peanut butter chocolate flavor for all of the brands, just so you could really compare side by side the flavor and the taste. And also in the spirit of fairness, because there's just so many to get through, I've decided that we're just going to go in alphabetical order, starting off with Alani New. So I didn't even know that they made a protein bar, but evidently they do. This one is the Munchies flavor. It looks like, based on the packaging, that it's probably some sort of chocolate peanut butter-ish thing. I'm not super sure though. The packaging is super cute. It's really bright like all of their other energy drinks are. 7 out of 10. I think it's really cute. In terms of the nutrition value, it has 15 grams of protein and 210 calories. It does have quite a bit of saturated fat, 30% of the daily value. And then when we're looking at the ingredients list, for context, I am a pediatric GI dietitian, so I see a lot of patients with IBD, and when we are counseling these patients and families on nutrition for IBD, we're always trying to encourage them to eat foods that are more minimally processed compared to foods that are ultra processed. And some of the things that we tell them to look out for are foods that have specific additives in them. So things like carboxymethylcellulose, carrageenan, polysorbate 80, maltodextrin, titanium dioxide, sulfates, and gums, as well as sugar alcohols. And these specific additives have just been found to be more inflammatory and potentially exacerbate IBD. So these are the things that we tell our patients to avoid, and that's typically what I'm looking for when I'm looking at the ingredients list. I feel like recently there's been this, I don't know if it's a trend or like this rule of thumb going around, that if you look on the back of an ingredients label and you see ingredients that you can't pronounce, then that means that it's an ultra processed food and it's bad and you don't want to consume it. But I think that that's really an oversimplification of things, mainly because there are things that are actually good for you, but when they're put on the back of an ingredients label, they are written out in their chemical name form. So it's things like alpha tocopherol instead of vitamin E, or beta carnitine instead of vitamin A, and these are things that not necessarily the lay person knows. So I think that rather than over demonizing foods and telling everyone to avoid foods with ingredients that they can't pronounce, maybe looking at specific ingredients and looking out for those is probably a better and more well-rounded nutrition approach. So that's kind of what we counsel our patients on. When I'm looking at the ingredients on here, there are some of these additives in here that we encourage our patients to avoid. However, they are further down on the ingredients list, which means that there's less of it in the product. So in terms of nutrition value for this one, I probably give it like a 4 out of 10. It doesn't have the best macronutrient distribution and also has some slightly more undesirable ingredients in it. Wow, this literally looks like a candy bar. It's got chocolate and peanuts covering it. I can smell the whey. Oh my gosh. It is so sticky. It's still stuck to my teeth. I don't think I'm getting that out. So there's like a caramel layer and another like chewy layer. I'm not quite sure what that's supposed to be. That combination just made it super sticky. And you can really taste the whey protein on here, as well as the 1 gram of added sugar, in that it's not very sweet. Oh my gosh, that was awful. I have to give that one like a 3 out of 10, just because the texture and like the stickiness, it was not for me. If you love chewy, sticky things though, this is your protein bar potentially. Next up we have Aloha bars. I feel like the packaging is fairly minimal. They have just like different colors for each different flavor. I don't know, I like it. It's simple and it gets the point across. I would give this 7.5 out of 10 in terms of packaging. 240 calories and only 14 grams of protein, and also 10 grams of fiber, which is really awesome. Only 3 grams of added sugar. And looking at the ingredients list, this does not actually contain any of the ingredients that we tell patients to avoid, so that's great. 8.5 out of 10. This one's pretty good. So this one like looks a little like date-like. It smells really good. I like it. Although I don't know if I'm getting a little bit of aftertaste from the Alani new one. They are a little bit dry though. 7 out of 10 in terms of taste. Next up we have these Bear Bell bars. I've never seen them before. In terms of the packaging, I feel like this is probably marketed maybe towards men because it's just like black and gold. It's not super appealing to me. 4 out of 10 in terms of packaging. It is, wow, 20 grams of protein for 200 calories, 5 grams of sugar alcohols. In terms of ingredients, the only thing that it has that we wouldn't recommend is the sugar alcohols. It does also contain bovine collagen hydrolysate, so if you are vegetarian, this bar is unfortunately not vegetarian friendly, which I did not even realize. In terms of the nutrition value, like a 5 out of 10. I feel like it's pretty average in terms of the macronutrients, and it does have the sugar alcohols. I don't love that about this one. Looking at bar itself, it looks like a candy bar. This one is reminding me of the Alani new one. This is so sticky. I'm not gonna eat this one because of the bovine collagen, but Stephen can have it. But based on the texture of this one, I can tell that I probably won't like it. Next up, we have the Cliff Builders bar. So this is something that I feel like I used to eat this back in college. My mom would buy them from Costco. I think that they've changed the packaging since then though. I remember it used to be like brighter colors and now it's a little bit more muted, probably more so to cater towards the male audience, but 6 out of 10. I feel like it's okay. It doesn't turn me off or anything. It contains 20 grams of protein and 290 calories. It is also higher on the saturated fat side, so it's 29% of the daily value, 17 grams of added sugar. However, it does not contain any of the ingredients that we tell our patients to avoid. So instead of adding sugar alcohols, they just use actual sugar. 5 out of 10, because it doesn't have any of the ingredients that we want to avoid, but it does have quite a bit of the added sugar and saturated fat. I remember these being like really sweet. Basically a bar that's covered in chocolate. This one tastes like a chocolate bar, except you can taste the whey protein. I think that it's pretty good. I would give this one 6 out of 10. I think that it's okay. Not my protein bar of choice though, but I would definitely eat this if I had to. All right, up next we have this Fit Crunch bar. I hate the packaging, honestly. 1 out of 10 for packaging. Please consult a marketing agency. In terms of the nutrition value, it is 190 calories for 16 grams of protein, 8 grams of sugar alcohols. Okay. In terms of the ingredients, a lot of different sugar alcohols. This also has gelatin, which is from a bovine source, which if you are vegetarian, again, if you don't eat gelatin, is not vegetarian friendly. And it does also contain, in the 2% or less category, the ingredients that we tell our patients to avoid. So that means that it doesn't make up quite as much of the protein bar, but it's still in here. 3 out of 10. It's a lot of sugar alcohols, and also a lot of ingredients that we want to consume less of. I'm also, again, not going to eat this one, but we can take a look. Again, chocolate covered. And this one actually looks kind of similar to what the Cliff Bar looks like on the inside. Maybe not. I think one of the layers looks similar. This one looks like it would actually taste better. Although, I don't know, with all the sugar alcohols, that can really alter the taste and kind of leave a little bit of like a bitter aftertaste. So then we have our GoMacro bars. I have seen it a lot. I think it's a pretty popular plant-based protein bar. The packaging itself, it feels like it should be like eco-friendly or something. I don't know. So I'd give this like a 7 out of 10 in terms of packaging. It is 280 calories for only 10 grams of protein, 14 grams of total sugars, 13 of which are added sugars. So it does have a little bit higher added sugars, but it's only 26% of the daily value. And in terms of the ingredients, all of the ingredients on here are pretty much organic, and it does not contain any of the specific additives that I like to limit. But I feel like if you're wanting a protein bar, you're probably wanting something a little bit more than just 10 grams of protein, especially for something as high as 280 calories. In terms of like protein bar nutrition value, I rank this like a 5.5 out of 10. This one, when I opened it, almost looked a little brownie-like. It does have a little bit more of a chalky flavor compared to like your whey protein bars. The texture is fine. However, it's not as sweet as I thought it would be based on how much sugar is in here. Although I do wonder, maybe it's like the size of the protein bar. Yeah, I think that the GoMacro bar is a little bit bigger than the Aloha bar. Maybe that's why there is more sugar in here, just because it's a bigger bar, more surface area to cover. I don't know. In terms of taste, I feel like I like the Aloha bar a little bit better, but I honestly can't even remember what I ranked the Aloha bar. At this point, a half a point to a point lower than the Aloha bar, so probably like a 6 to 7 for the GoMacro bar. Moving on to the Kind Protein Max bar. I think that this one is a new product, but this packaging is your signature Kind bar. I do like their packaging because you can actually see the bar inside and actually kind of know what you're getting. 8 out of 10, maybe because I'm biased. It is 250 calories and 20 grams of protein. It is a little bit higher on the saturated fat side, so 25% of your daily value, and it has 9 grams of fiber, which is awesome, and no added sugars and no sugar alcohols. How is that even possible? I feel like this is definitely sweet, but it does have allulose, which I cannot remember, but I'll look it up and put it on here somewhere. So that's probably what gives it the sweetness. But the other ingredients look really good. There's nothing on here that we tell our patients to avoid. This one is pretty on par actually with the Aloha bar. 7 out of 10. It's hard to find a bar that is not only high in protein, but also high in fiber too. Oh, there's more chocolate on here than you can see on the front, but so it's got these like little soy protein isolate crunchy things that kind of make up the protein in here. It gives it a little bit of a grainy texture, but overall, I think that this one is okay. It's almost savory a little bit just from like the peanuts, I feel like. 6 out of 10. I think that I would eat it again, but it's not my favorite tasting protein bar. Then we have our no cow bars. It's got this really simple, minimalistic packaging, which is, I feel like I really enjoy something like this. 7.5 out of 10. I actually quite like the packaging. It has 200 calories and 20 grams of protein. It's somehow got 15 grams of fiber in it, but 6 grams of sugar alcohols. It does have quite a bit of the erythritol, so that sugar alcohol, but everything else looks pretty good. It's 5.5 out of 10. I'm gonna give it a little bump just because it has a little bit of extra fiber in it. It's got a really interesting color and texture to it. I don't know how I feel about this one. Wow, that's really chalky. Like a 3.5 out of 10. It's a little bit better than the Alani Nu. Like between the Alani Nu and this one, I would rather eat this one, but still not great. Next, we have these Nugo protein bars. I am not super fond of the packaging. They remind me of those diety protein bars, like the Atkins one. 5.5 out of 10 for packaging. 180 calories and 16 grams of protein. And looking at the ingredients list, surprisingly, it does not have anything that I would want to limit or avoid. Although it does have vegetable fiber, which comes from inulin, and I feel like inulin does not always sit well with a lot of people. Like personally, I feel like it makes me kind of gassy and my tummy kind of hurts. Based on the packaging, I want to rank it like not good, but based on the ingredients and the distribution, I feel like I would rank this one like a 6.5-ish out of 10. Kind of just looks like a chocolate bar. It's totally covered in chocolate. Surprisingly better than I thought. I feel like I really wanted to write it off because of the packaging. I don't know what it is. Like I just have something against the packaging. You can't taste some of the proteininess, but the chocolate on the outside is not too sweet. It's like perfect. I feel like it really helps to make the overall bar taste a little bit better. I feel like I would almost give this one like a 7 out of 10 in terms of taste. It does have a little bit of an aftertaste though. Up next, we have the One bar. I feel like they're really riding on the Reese's brand because this almost looks like one of those king size Reese's peanut butter cup. From far away, you wouldn't be able to tell, so good on them for using that marketing tactic, I guess. So I would give this one 6 out of 10 in terms of the packaging. It's 240 calories and 18 grams of protein. This one also has 10 grams of fiber, 5 grams of sugar alcohol. I think that the only thing really that we try and discourage or limit is just the sugar alcohols in here. 5.5 out of 10, kind of on par with our other bars that are heavier in sugar alcohols, but everything else looks good. So it has some, I guess, peanut butter chocolate chips on here. It's very peanutty looking. It's got like a chewy inside, but not too chewy to the point that it's sticking to my teeth. The flavor is really surprisingly good, quite enjoyable in fact. So taste wise, I would give this one like a 7 out of 10. I actually don't taste any of the aftertaste of the sugar alcohol, so that's good. Next up, we actually have one of my favorites, the Perfect Bar. I have actually been enjoying these, so I may be a little bit biased. The packaging is nice. Again, you can kind of like see through the packaging and kind of see what's inside, so I do like that. I think that the packaging is really cute, so I'm gonna give it like a 10 out of 10. It's 330 calories and 15 grams of protein, so a little bit higher on the calorie side. 18 grams of total sugars, and 12 of which are added sugar, so it does have some added sweetness. That's probably why I like it so much, because it actually tastes sweet. So it doesn't have anything that we tell our patients to avoid. 7 out of 10. It has a little bit more sugar than I would like it to have, but overall I feel like it's still a well-balanced protein bar. So this one is a refrigerated protein bar, but you can leave it out for, I believe, up to 7 days unrefrigerated before it actually starts to go bad. Basically, it kind of just looks like a peanut butter bar or something. Now it has some chocolate chips on it. This literally is like a dessert to me, and it's very peanutty, so I feel like it has a good texture. The taste is good. I'm biased against it because I actually really like eating these, so I'm giving it like a 10 out of 10 in terms of taste. I don't really taste any of the proteinness of it because it uses a couple of different sources of protein, so love this bar. Next we have the Power Crunch bar. So this one surprised me when I picked it up because it's so light. This one also does say protein energy bar, so I'm not quite sure what that means, but the packaging itself I think is okay. 6 out of 10 in terms of packaging. It is 220 calories and 13 grams of protein. This is really high in the saturated fat. It's got 7 grams or 35% of the daily value. For the ingredients list, I do see it has one of the ingredients that we want to try and limit and reduce in our diet, but it is like really far down the list. A 5 out of 10. I feel like a lot of these are just like very average because they have things that are good about them and also things that are not as great about them. So overall it averages out. So I think that this one is actually like a wafer bar, which is really interesting. It's got that wafer texture. That's probably why it's so light. It is a wafer bar. At first it tasted really good, and then I got like some weird aftertaste. It's the stevia. If you add too much, it also has a weird aftertaste, and I wonder if that's what this is. I think it's in the cream. The cream on the outside is what gives it the weird aftertaste. The wafer portion is good. I actually really like that portion. I really wanted to like it because, you know, who doesn't love like a wafer bar? But unfortunately that aftertaste really throws me off. I have to give it a 2 out of 10. I don't even think I can really eat this. Next we have the Quest bar. This one is one that I ate a lot in college, especially like freshman year. I'm not proud of that. The packaging I think has gotten better over the years. It looks much more appealing now. In fact, I would actually give this a 6 out of 10. If I didn't know the brand Quest, like this is something that I would potentially pick up. It has 190 calories and 20 grams of protein, 11 grams of fiber, 7 grams of sugar alcohols. In terms of the ingredients, the only thing really that we want to avoid on here is the sugar alcohols, so 5 out of 10. It's just, all of these protein bars have so much sugar alcohols in it. I don't love that. I feel like I get like PTSD from Quest bars just because I had so many of them in college. Looking at this just makes me like, oh, I don't even want to try it. Like, I am so disappointed at 18-year-old me for liking these. Oh. You can really taste the sugar alcohols. Yeah, no, not for me. I have to give this one like a 4 out of 10 in terms of taste. And that may be like a personal bias just because I had so many of them in college, but yep, not good. Next up we have RX bars. So this is what I ended up turning to in college after I was like, Quest bars are kind of gross and they're really processed. The packaging is very minimal. It even says no BS on it. I think that this packaging is like, it's just very straightforward. It tells you exactly what's in it. I like that about it. So I'd give this one like a 7.5 out of 10. It's got 200 calories and 12 grams of protein, 15 grams of total sugars, none of which are added sugars because the sugar just comes from the dates, which is a natural sugar. It's only got like 5 things in it, so it's very minimally processed, and none of them are any of the ingredients that we really want to avoid. I haven't had one of these in a really long time. I think I just really got tired of the date flavor, and like around that time there were so many things that were being made out of dates, like the Lara bars. It looks like some of the other plant protein bars just got that like date texture. This one is a little chewy / sticky. And I also forgot that the dark chocolate is totally unsweetened. I love that about this. It just is like very like simply dark chocolate. I actually really like the taste of this, although it is a little bit sticky. 7.5 out of 10 in terms of taste. Now we're on our last bar. This is the Think bar. Also reminds me of one of those diety bars. So I don't know if it's like the colors, it just like they feel very similar. So this one, I also feel like the packaging is like 5 out of 10, like a regular protein bar. It's 230 calories, 20 grams of protein, 11 grams of sugar alcohols. Ooh, I don't love that. That's really the only thing that I would be a little bit concerned about limiting, but that is a lot of sugar alcohol. So I feel like I have to give this one like 5 out of 10. That's just a lot. This one is another chocolate covered protein bar. This one I feel like you can really taste the sugar alcohol aftertaste, and I really don't love that. Although like the texture and like the chocolate and everything, it tastes fine, but I think it's the sugar alcohols that are really throwing me off on that, and I do not like that. I really hate the aftertaste of sugar alcohol, so 4.5 out of 10. 15 protein bars later, I have some favorites and some not so favorites. So starting with my least favorites, Alani New, Power Crunch, Quest, Fit Crunch. Well, I didn't even try these, but I did not like the ingredients of this one. The Bear Bells, I didn't try this one either, but I did not like what the texture looked like or the ingredients. Also the Think bars. So those were my least favorite. Next category is like bars that I thought were okay and I would eat them again if I had to. I'd say the Cliff Bar, No Cow one, and the Nugo. And now moving on to my favorite bars. These are ones that I like the taste and also the ingredients better than some of the other bars. So I would say the GoMacro bar, the Aloha bar, RX bar, and also the Kind bar. Those are my top favorite protein bars, but everyone's taste buds are different, and if you like a different protein bar, that is totally okay to have a different opinion. But I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to give it a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.